Last year, the cod quotas for the North Sea were halved, and the headlines partly attributed this to climate change. As a result, in October, the North Sea cod stock lost its very coveted blue tick label awarded by the Marine Stewardship Council. The seriousness of this situation for North Sea cod continues to rumble through, particularly as we look ahead to the quotas which will soon be set for 2021. Myself and Nikolai Nowry will be presenting a talk titled Climate Change Impacts Recruitment Rates of North Sea and Irish Sea Cod by Widening Phenological Mismatch. We'll be giving this in this special session on marine climate change. We'll use some terrific data to investigate the relationship between cod larvae and their zooplankton prey. Basically, we'll be telling the ecological story behind the headlines. Hope to see you there.
Hi, I'm Jacob Davis and I'm a research ecologist at the British Trust for Ornithology based in Stirling. I'll be speaking at the MASTS annual science meeting about predicting seabird abundance changes in Western Scotland and Northern Ireland under climate change. I'll present the predicted changes in abundance for 19 seabird species, and I'll discuss the importance of accounting for both marine and terrestrial climate change. Catch me in the marine climate change session on the Wednesday afternoon. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Andrew Twelves. I'm a PhD student at the University of Edinburgh, and we're talking to you about ice ocean interactions in the Amundsen Sea sector of West Antarctica. I used the MIT Johnson circulation model with an ice shelf and the Bling biogeochemistry model to try and simulate the relationship between very fast melting ice shelves in this region and the very intense blooms of phytoplankton, such as Physis Antarctica. We're going to be asking two main questions. Firstly, how does melting ice impact phytoplankton growth? Which is interesting because this growth and productivity of phytoplankton contributes significantly to carbon sequestration in the Southern Ocean. And then also, how does this phytoplankton growth impact melting of the ice shelf? We're going to see that there's an interesting feedback between chlorophyll, ocean optics, and how surface heating can influence ice shelf melt. Thank you.
My name is Edward Lavender, and I'm a third-year PhD student at the University of St Andrews. At the MASTS annual science meeting this year, I will present a predictive study of the impacts of climate change on the abundance of shallow water fish. In marine systems, the effects of climate change are increasingly apparent, and changes in abundance are especially concerning. Predictive studies are needed to guide mitigation efforts, but most have tended to be subglobal in scale and focused on shifting geographic ranges or commercially exploited species. We developed a model based on species thermal affinities that we applied to over 2,000 shallow water fish across the globe using future temperature projections. The model predicted assemblage-wide declines in the tropics, where thermal niches are narrowest and most species are already living above inferred thermal optima, but possible abundance increases at higher latitudes. These predictions highlight the need to enhance adaptive capacity in many tropical nations.
Climate change causes ocean acidification. This increases the bicarbonate concentration in seawater. I want to understand if carbonate or bicarbonate ions are used to make up the calcium carbonate structures that make up marine animals, like coral skeletons.
My name is Alan Baudron, and in my talk I'll explore how changing fish distributions challenge the effective management of European fisheries. In Europe's fisheries, the share of the catch is split among areas using a fixed allocation key known as relative stability. And this relative stability is based on the historical catches for member states done in the 1970s. Therefore, distribution changes can result in mismatches between the quotas allocated with relative stability and the current regional fish abundances. In this study, we'll present the first systematic assessment of distribution changes of 19 commercial fish species across the Northeast Atlantic, encompassing 73 stocks over 30 years. All species in our study were found to have experienced some changes in distribution in at least part of their range. I'll explore these results in more details during my talk. Most importantly, 5 species were found to have changed distribution across management areas. As a result, these findings challenge the current use of the relative stability to allocate quotas in European fisheries.
Connie. I'm going to be talking about maerl bed distribution under climate change in Scotland. Anthropogenic climate change poses major threats to coastal ecosystems in the coming century, particularly to habitat-forming species such as maerl beds that are biodiversity hotspots and support many rare, endemic and commercially important species through the creation of heterogeneous benthic habitats. Using species distribution modelling and the IPCC representative carbon pathways for 2050 and 2100, we have investigated how a rapidly changing climate might affect the future distribution of Scottish maerl beds, and have found that if emissions continue at present rates, we could see up to an 84% decline in their distribution by 2100, with the fastest rates of decline happening between now and 2050. However, we have also identified possible refuge areas where populations may be able to persist even under climate change, and we suggest these as candidates for conservation management and to help ensure the survival of this globally important ecosystem. Thank you.